In an unprecedented ruling, a British judge has recognised an Islamic faith marriage as being legal under UK law. The case was brought by a Muslim woman who wanted to divorce her estranged husband. The couple were married at a traditional Muslim wedding ceremony, also known as nikah, 20 years ago. But it was regarded as a religious ceremony and therefore not a civil marriage under UK law. The husband has blocked divorce proceedings, invoking Sharia law, under which a union can only be dissolved by a council of Muslim leaders. But such councils have no legal jurisdiction in the UK. Jacqueline Vuge discussed it earlier with a Muslim rights campaigner and a British politics commentator.
How significant do you think this ruling is in terms of how Britain regards religious weddings and the marriage thereafter?
It is essentially the first time that the British courts or legal system has essentially recognised a parallel legal system, namely Sharia law. It does set a precedent without perhaps establishing what the boundaries around that should be. So I view this as troubling, misguided and potentially very disturbing for the future.
The judge was talking about recognising it as a void marriage under English common law, which is not exactly the same as Sharia, although this might be a bit similar. So yes, he emphatically made that point that this is not about recognising a Sharia law, it's about recognising and implementing what is seen as a marriage or a void marriage under English common law, not Sharia law.
In actual fact, it's got everything to do with Sharia. It couldn't be more clear. And you're being disingenuous by suggesting it's somehow completely divorced from Islam. It's everything to do with Sharia law as it's understood in this United Kingdom. And we cannot have, I'm sure you'd agree with me, there is no place for parallel legal systems within the UK.
Over the years, over the centuries, English law has improved to the level where it's very, very similar to the general aims and objectives of Sharia anyway. So a marriage under English common law is very similar to a marriage under Sharia law anyway. Sharia has certain guidelines, certain rights and responsibilities for a husband and wife, or people who are showing the world that they are husband and wife. And likewise, English common law does as well.
Someone to suggest that Sharia law in its full manifestation has any comparability to British law is ludicrous. I believe this judge has set a precedent which does carry consequences. Those consequences seem to elevate Islam to particular prominence, which it doesn't deserve above any other faith. And those married under Islam have always had the opportunity to get the rights which this judge has now availed them by simply having a civil ceremony. Look, if you want to get married under Sharia law, that's one thing, but bear in mind that it does not provide you with legal status under British law, and now this judge has given them a backstop. I think that's wrong.
Well, to be fair, the woman in this case, she was arguing that she did ask for this civil ceremony and that her husband refused to go forward with it, that her father had also asked for it, and it just was not an option for her, just the same as she asked for a divorce, and he would not give it to her. So, Salman, if we can go to you again, what do you think this means for other women who are in unhappy marriages, possibly, that they might also try and take this route?
The rights that women and indeed men have in this scenario are the exact same rights that they would have under the English common law. So when you look at things, for example, the division of assets and so forth, if there's an asset which is truly shared, like the marital home or a car or something they bought together, then regardless of if they're married or not, even under the English common law, let alone Sharia, obviously, they have an entitlement to, they both have an entitlement to that thing.
Precedents can lead to all kinds of bad situations, and in this case what we're seeing is a parallel law being legitimised in the UK. I repeat, Sharia courts have no place in the United Kingdom.